Hello and welcome back to Mutiny Motorsport Season 8, Round 3, the Canadian Grand Prix. In our very first season here, the last time we visited this track, Chris Boardman was the winner. And the big news going into this round is that Broadchen did get a penalty after the race for the incident with Moon at the last lap in Imola. Please go back through the YouTube videos, go find it. It's tagged right at the end, and then you can see the incident there. But it did change the championship standings around, so there we go. Moon gets his extra point. Broadchen deducted a point for that crash. And here we go. We have the qualifying results. And let's see, it is Peter on pole again. Unbelievable. Ferrari also on the front row with shattered compass. A great 1-2 for them there. Williams of TTR in third place. Broadchen in fourth place. Orange in fifth place in the second Williams. And then we got Moon in sixth place. Nate Delta, Garrett, Mr. Mouse, Leclerc, Daniel Gilligan, and Creature rounding off the back to the last row there.
Yeah, Ferrari has really started off this season strong. I mean, taking the 1-2 in Bathurst, and then obviously a very close finish last time out, but here we go.
Here we go. That Williams looked like it had a rocket start, and he's off into the front. Was there a green light error there? Did he go before the line, before the lights went out?
Definitely looked like he got into that first corner really quickly, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Oh, a little bit off, and oh!
I think that was the Jordans. Oh no!
Oh my gosh, is that a Prost up on its roof? That must be Prost there.
That is Creature. Oh, not what a start that they wanted at the back there. There was so much potential for these guys. Still having to reverse and turn themselves around. Dan Gilligan there, way in the back. Just coming through.
Looks like the safety car is out. Safety car is out.
Safety car. Oh, not a good start in Montreal. And here we are, upside down with Creature. Unable to get that vehicle turned over. Yeah, I think that's going to be a retirement right there. Oh, not the start.
Great start from Tikisar there. It also looks like Broadchen looks like he worked his way up in the third, but now everybody's kind of settled down, waiting to catch the safety car.
That's right, yeah, the Ferraris from the first and seconds on the line, losing 2 spots, 1 each. That is not great for them. Oh, 3 spots, sorry, for shattered. Unbelievable. Sorry, 2. 2, my brain.
Yeah. And I know going into this race, there was some debate on 2-stop or 1-stop. You'd have to think if somebody was doing a 2-stop, this is going to hurt them the longer this goes on because it's giving them less time to build that gap. But we'll kind of have to wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, I think that's going to be, I think that was absolutely right there. If you're on a lights car, you want that advantage when these cars are at their heaviest, which is what they are right now. Probably tanked up, and I think that is Mumbo Man in the Jordan in the pits.
Yeah, probably picked up some damage from that collision, so maybe repairing the wing, probably fresh tires, topping off the fuel.
Oh, there's someone there locking up a brake. I think Mumbo Man, yeah, he was definitely, it looked, when I think back to that incident, it looked like he got on the grass. Now, whether Leclerc was in front of him and squeezed him, he did get on the grass on the left-hand side on the exit of T1, and that's what caused him to spin, and that's what caused Creature in the Prost to, there we go, retire. And they've even chopped off the nose cone there. They're so upset with that car.
Yeah, leaving it behind in Quebec. They'll just start it fresh at the factory next week.
Yeah, they don't need it. The French team have had enough. They're packing up and they're going home. Safety car going very slowly here. Temperature
you
not...
can see the...
Go on.
I was going to say the driver's just trying to keep their tires warm, that, swerving, forward, back, braking, kind of doing whatever they can.
Yeah. Oh, did I just see a rear wing there in the background fly off? Is there a bit of damage there?
Potentially. It may have been one of the the braking boards, but it did look like a rear wing to me as well.
Okay. Yeah, safety car going slowly here. This is the driver's reporting of the moist track, so qualifying and practice were dry, but there did seem to be some rain just before the race, not very much. And so tyre temperatures will be tricky here, just to keep them in the operating window on the restart with this slow safety car.
Yeah, and just going back to that, the missing rear wing, it looked like when we panned there to one of the Minardi's, potentially Leclerc was missing his rear wing there at the rear of the field.
Okay.
So it looks like safety car is continuing, so he may be able to duck in here and get that changed. We'll see if he comes into the pits or not.
Yeah. So they're going past the wall of champions right now. Whoa. Shattered and Broadtron almost coming together on the safety car lap here. Going past the wall of champions, that final corner really tricky. High speed chicane, fastest point on the circuit is just entering into that chicane. You've got to brake all the way down to maybe about 100 kilometers an hour, maybe. The curbs there, and here we go, Mumbo Man and Leclerc in the pits. Big
looks
stop.
like they're replacing that rear wing there.
Yeah. It's a big stop. They'll catch up back to the pack, it looks like. There we go, yeah, they're only going around turn 3 and 4 right now. I wonder what Peter must be thinking about his start there, whether the Williams got a head start on him, whether he jumped the lights, how he lost it off the lead. It's not usual for Peter, and Shattered as well from second to fourth. Broadtron really taking the opportunity there.
Yeah, and I mean, Broadtron missed the first race of the season, but obviously, barring the penalty last weekend, he's really come in competitive and strong in that Jaguar.
He has. This is a man with something like an 85% podium rate. Unbelievable. Just
he's
quick.
been around since season 1, and he's always there fighting. I think he's it 1 or 2-time champion? I know he was, what was it, season?
He's one-time champion.
One time.
Season 5, and it was the 1995 cars, or maybe it was season 4 and the 1995 cars. I think F1 cars. I think maybe it wasn't. I can't remember.
I think it was. Yeah. Well, let me check my notes. We'll get back on that.
Regardless, extremely quick drive, I hear. And Jaguar not doing too badly. Dan Gilligan qualified. When did he qualify? Slightly lower back, so he's already gained a position. Probably he's qualified 11th, already up into 9th, so profiting from the damage from those early laps and those collisions, just staying out of trouble and avoiding everything. So here it looks like safety cars coming in. Is it? It's going to go ahead.
Yes, it is coming in.
And they've bolted. Williams is off. Peter's off. Broadtron's off. Shattered's off. Orange is off. They are screaming, and in the background, all going through nice and safely through that last corner. So the wind here today blowing from the east, so just making it a little bit tricky for the drivers during some certain corners.
Looks like the Minardi's engaged the floating tactic again. Saw that a little bit last week.
Yeah. And here we go. On board with the safety car driver for some reason. Wonder what the director's thinking here.
Yeah, I mean, there were some comments on the radio about American Muscle, but I don't think that this was exactly what the drivers were looking for in terms of the broadcast.
So let's have a look in the front. TTR's still there, 1 second, now 2 seconds ahead. It's hovering in front of Peter. Broadtron pretty close behind. I mean, all the way back to... I mean, everyone's still within 10 seconds on that first lap, 8 seconds even for the entire field. So once we get past this safety car, wow, we are a lot looking at this safety car. What is going on, director? Come on. What is going on? We must know.
Yeah, and I guess, while we wait, I was looking back to my notes. So it was Broadtron was season 5, the 2022 or 2023 F1 season that we did a little while back. That was the one he won, so...
That was the whole season. He wasn't off the podium. Incredible.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And that was a super competitive season. Quite a few different winners. But yeah, we're back on board now here with Orange in 5th, trying to hang on to the back of that Ferrari.
I wonder if this is all about now just getting those tyres back up to temperature, not ruining them too much, not sliding too much like we see there. Trying to hold on to the slipstream in front. It's quite a tricky track to overtake. There's limited spots unless you get a really good run. Down here to the hairpin is probably one of the best spots, and then also into the last chicane, into that champion's wall.
a newcomer to the Mutiny, Moon. He's looked really strong through the first few races. We see him here he's definitely threatening to pick up some more points off of Orange here if he can't keep him behind.
That is right. Unbelievable pace. Let's see if he can hold it here together. 6th place, so he's right on the fringe of the points right now. 1 point he'd take home. That'd be great for Toyota. And his teammate too in 7th. Garrett O'Brien.
Yeah. Really strong showing from Toyota. Oh, a little bit of a lock up there, looks like, from Mumbo as he goes over those sausage curbs. You could definitely take a bit of sausage curb, but if you take too much, it's going to launch into that wall of champions.
Yeah. And that wall is pretty unforgiving, and those sausage curbs too, like you say. The car, once you're in the air, you're not moving in the direction that you want to be moving. And the car can go anywhere at once, wherever the last trajectory was when it took off. Here we go with Nate.
Following Nate Delta here. He had a really good opening. Oh!
So that was Moon off. Garrett O'Brien has taken his spot up into 6th, but he's being challenged by Nate. And we disappeared from it. Nate, I see on the timing board, Nate's got through into that chicane.
Really opportunistic there. I mean, I think Garrett had to check up a little bit from his teammate spinning there, and Nate, right place, right time, and aggressive into that chicane and takes the position up into the points.
That's it. And back to the safety car, and here we go. Trying to find Leclerc. Here he comes. So he's dropped off the back of Nate a little bit. Here we go. That is TTR coming through, and then we just saw Peter, a sizable gap now, almost 3 seconds between them. It's with Mumbo Man, taking it easy into that last chicane. It's pretty hard if you're not right alongside the car. You just won't have the authority going into that corner.
Yeah, man, Moon, that spin, I mean, he was in 6th, right on Orange's tail, and he's tumbled down. He's now 20 seconds off the lead, so got some work to do from back there. But
yeah, lost 12 seconds in that spin. I wonder if there was any damage too. It looks like he was in the wall, facing the wrong way once his teammate, by the time we caught up with him on the cameras. And back with the safety car. That American muscle seeming to be a favourite of the Canadian director here.
Yeah, I wonder if Chevy paid for some advertising time or something. Maybe somebody got a check or something. But yeah, back on here with Nate Delta.
So Nate had that podium in the first round in Bathurst. Had a bad crash last time out in Imola. Not able to really recover. He was one of those guys caught out by the winds in the early laps. And just struggled to get back through the fields with the tricky tyres and temperatures there. Here we go, we got a battle at the back. Mumbo Man, Leclerc and Moon. Moon already making his way back through the field.
But he picked up 2 positions there, I think, just in that one straight. Must have had a great exit out of the hairpin.
That strong Toyota engine with must be a bit of low downforce and a great exit from the hairpin there. Not often you make up 2 spots in one go.
Leclerc and Mumbo have kind of been fighting this whole race at the back of the pack. Granted, no points on the line, but for some of these teams, I mean, these positions still count in the championship standings at the end, right? So even if you're finishing with no points, you still want to be finishing ahead of your rivals.
And that's it. It makes all the difference. It makes all the difference in the championship standings for the team. It makes all the difference for yourself, obviously.
Looking back up front, so it looks like T-Tar still has a 3.5 second lead on Peter. A couple seconds back to Brochin, then Shattered, and Orange looks like he's dropping a little bit off the pace of those front 4 runners. 12 seconds back of the lead and 4 seconds back of Shattered, and then about 8-second gap back to Nate, where there's, I mean, a lot of cars together fighting for that last point spot, so we'd love to see.
Indeed, yeah. So field spread already. I mean, safety car came in lap 3 or lap 4 around then. So in the 5 or so laps since the safety cars come in, there's been a bit of a spread. We did see that spin, which seems to have separated the pack now. Nate really in a bit of being chased there in 6th, but got quite a gap in front of him now to Orange in 5th place for him to make up. That's going to be quite tough.
Touching the wall there, just really pushing it through that chicane. We saw a lot of drivers struggling, some of them even going under the grass. It looks like Nate runs a little deep there.
Yeah, that's going to help Dan. going to help it win. They're really tricky with the cars. Everyone talking about oversteer on the exit of that corner. Hard to get the grip down. And then the wind there as well. Everyone being a little bit tentative. As well here, the dirty air was quite a big effect. Looks like Dan was struggling to get the car slowed down there. But from 6th to 10th, just a few seconds in. And is that Nate spinning down the field? I think it is. There's a retired creature, and then Leclerc at the back. Nate now down to 10th, so not a good time at the hairpin. We didn't see what happened there.
So now we've got...
Yeah, now Dan Gilligan up into 6th place. So 6th place being hotly contested here for the last points.
3 teams take up all top 6 spots. All the points gained positions are spread out between Williams, Ferrari, and Jaguar.
And they seem to be leading in the championship standings at the moment. They're the 3 big boys right now. Really helped when Sportchen started his season. Once he started that race late, it just helped guide Jaguar. Dan's been doing a fantastic job just picking up those last points. Sportchen now spitting actually the Williams and the Ferraris. Still ahead of Shattered there.
Just looking at lap times, it looks like that last lap, Titar almost 8/10 quicker than Peter there. I wonder, just quicker pace, or maybe he's going for that, the 2-stop we were discussing. We'll definitely have to watch here. The 2-stop window should open in, maybe 3-4 laps, whereas the 1-stoppers, given the safety car, probably looking for lap 18, 19.
About there, yeah. That is exactly right.
That's moving back up into 7th.
He's absolutely flying here. If you look at his pace, what is that, 1:16? It's quicker than all the drivers around him, so he is deserving with this speed at the moment to be in the top 6. That would put his pace right on cue. There we go. It looks like Peter on that last lap has caught back up, doing identical time to TTR, so it's going to be a tough one there. If the Williams is fueled lightly, it looks like that Ferrari is just as quick. I wonder if the Ferrari's fueled lightly as well now.
Oh, big hit into the wall there by Daniel Gilligan. He's really trying to defend from Asmund here.
I think that's it. Bit of overdriving, bit of trying to defend the position. Sometimes you've got to be looking straight ahead, because the moment you're in your mirrors,
oh no!
It's Asmund again! Oh no!
Is that the same spot he had spun before?
It is.
Man, he has such great pace, but he just, seems like that. Maybe the wind bit him again there, or not entirely sure. So Nate Delta back up into 8th, Leclerc into 9th. Mumbo Man still bringing up the rear of the field there.
Needs to tame that right foot, Asmund, if he's gonna score some points today. Feel the winds. Learn which direction it's coming from. Weather report says it's going to start stabilizing pretty soon. Seemed like about a 15 to 20 kilometer an hour winds here, and it seems to be stabilized around that right now.
Brochin 2/10 quicker than the Peter there on that last lap, so potentially trying to reel him in, and that Ferrari's only 2 seconds off, 2 or 3 seconds off the rear there, so.
That is right. And here we are on board with Shattered Compass. Had a great recovery drive last time out in Imola. Was he on the podium? I'm trying to remember if he was on the podium in the first race in Bathurst. I think he was.
Bathurst, it was a 1-2. Yeah, he was second.
Right.
Yep.
So, not quite up to speed with Peter. Looking at the last lap time, just about half a second off, and that would make sense over the racing laps that they've had. Now split by about 6 or 7, or about 5 or 6 seconds. So. Great performance. This is like the Shattered Compass we used to see of old, always battling in the front. Had a few off seasons, took some time for some other priorities, and he's come back strong this season in these 01 cars.
Yeah, I mean, just incredibly quick, both in qualifying and in the race. And I mean, he's kind of had adversity in both of the first 2 races. The pit crew forgetting to change his tires on his pit stop in Bathurst, but still bringing it home second. Big crash last week, recovering to 6th. Yeah, I mean, the Ferrari team just looks incredibly strong this season. It's going to be hard for anyone to catch them.
Exactly. They swapped their 2 drivers out, if you didn't already know. TTR and Orange were longtime Ferrari drivers. and swapped both to Williams. Williams gave them a massive bump in pay, but have they given them the car to fight the Ferraris this season?
It's like Mumble Man into the pits again. I wonder if he picked up some damage. I wasn't, didn't see exactly what happened there.
Or is he two-stopping there? Might be the very first of the two-stop. And here we have TTR.
Oh, TTR.
So he was fueled light. He was just over 7/10 quicker than Peter on that lap. And Brauchen too. So Jag and Williams going for the two-stop. There's no way they can get to the end from this. They can't do 20 laps. Not without running pretty slow and sipping on those tanks. So they're going full foot to the floor there. Was a 6-second lead enough to cover that? It's hard.
PTAR coming out 9 seconds behind his teammate there, so definitely had the pace advantage on orange, but yeah, we'll have to see if it looks like the Peter's one stopping unless he stops in the next few laps here if TTAR can run him down or not.
Yeah, so what's the gap now? 18 seconds to the leader. This car will be a little bit heavier now. We reckon about 100 kilos a stop if they're two-stopping. Maybe just a little bit less. But Peter, if anyone's one-stopping, they're probably closer to 140 litres, so... Here we go with Garrett on the fringe of points again. Only a second behind Dan Gilligan there in the Jag. Making up for his teammate's mistake, trying to hunt down that Jag for the last point.
Yeah, Afternoon hasn't seemed to be able to put in quite as much pace. He's stayed about 10 seconds off 6th place since he spun here, running in the 116s.
This Minardi looks very tippy at the back there. I wonder if they've got some soft suspension going on.
It just didn't seem like it wanted to turn or put the power down very well there. Aaron O'Brien continuing to keep Daniel Gilligan honest here. I mean, they're running almost identical lap times on that last lap, and
that's pretty hard.
Just a few seconds apart. Yeah, go ahead.
No, when you're following that close, when you're within a second or two of the car in front, you really notice your braking performance goes. Every time you turn the wheel, the car, you just need to have an extra bit of steering input. That puts an extra bit of slide on the tires. You just don't have the grip. So to stay close and do matching lap times, you've got some pace in the car. I wonder if he's being slightly held up, but just doesn't have enough pace to get past.
Just looking at lap times again here, it looks like TTAR has not been able to, get back into those 114s yet. So he was about 2 seconds off of Peter on that last lap. We'll have to see if those start to close as the fuel burns off.
And let's look at the sector times here. So they're just finishing lap 16. Peter there with last sector as he comes across the line. Let's have a look. As he crosses the line, 29.7 TTAR, 29.6. So that was the first lap they had matched sectors in the last sector, but the whole lap time TTR still now 2/10 down. So just got to find some pace in those first sectors where he's got to do the braking and accelerating out of all those chicanes.
The top 5 all down into the 114s now.
Yeah, that's a quick pace. World record here in time trial mode is in the 112s to show you how much these guys are pushing. And bear in mind, this was a moist track as it started. It did rain very briefly just before the race again. So the track drying up, gripping up, and also these guys are absolutely giving it everything.
Nate Delta looks like a bit understeer there and there's a hairpin, but manages to hold it together.
Here we go, on board with Garrett again. Just a second and a half within that second and a half window. Damn. And back was shattered. So Ferrari 1 and 2 again after the pit stops from Williams and Jaguar. 4 seconds behind his teammate. This is solid going and almost 7/10 quicker on that last lap than Peter. Shattered has pace.
unbelievable lap time. I think that's the quickest lap to this point. I mean, as the fuel burns down, that car must just be feeling amazing. I mean, you can see Peter in front there. It looks like he's starting to reel him in a bit.
He is, yeah. This is unbelievable pace from Shattered right now. He must be loving it in that car. Let's see if he can close it up. Back on board with Nate. Remember, he was running top 6 at one point and then threw it away at the hairpin.
Yeah, it seems like both Nate and Asmoon in this race, they've both been up in 6th and then spun, and I think Asmoon's had 2 spins, so they're both kind of trying to recover here, right on each other's gearboxes.
And if they can stay with each other and not threaten each other too much, they can follow each other through the pack. Try and make the best of slipstream each other and not upsetting, because as soon as you start fighting, you lose lap time. It's just the way it is. You move slightly off the perfect racing line. You have to defend a little bit by braking slightly earlier or slightly later. You don't get the trajectory that you want through the corner. So these guys are going to work together if they want points, even in opposing teams.
Yeah, there's always that question of, is me following this driver actually going to get me up the field quicker than me trying to get past them? Because sometimes, when the driver in front of you is directly in front of you is quicker than the rest of the pack up the track, sometimes just following them through is quicker than trying to fight them directly.
That is it. That is exactly it. It looks like Nate has the pace here, though.
Yeah, he's getting right up on that Toyota.
He is. Dan has some stuff to worry about behind him. So they're slowly catching up. Like Garrett, Nate, Asmoon, they're right on his tail. Just 8 seconds. 7 seconds even, so Dan got some pressure on him. He's got 11 seconds to the car in front of Broach and his teammate, so he's got some clean air. And actually almost matching lap times, having a look at the timing screen there. Oh no, 2 seconds off, sorry. Wow, I was way off.
Just looking back up at the front. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, looking back up at the front, I mean, I don't know if I missed it, but Shattered's last lap was a 1:16 compared to Peter's 1:13.8, so potentially a mistake there. I don't think we've seen the Ferrari's pit yet.
No, and here we go. Here's the midfielders all at lap 18. This is right on schedule for about half race distance. So there we go. They're waiting. Feels like an eternity, those 10 or 12 seconds while you're stationary. Whole pit stop here, costing one stopper's about 25-26 seconds from entrance to exit, sorry. So there we go, no change of positions. Asmoon just going through there, not having stopped yet.
It does look like Nate has picked up a little bit on Garrett through that pit cycle exchange. Maybe just a slightly better in lap, maybe a bit later braking, maybe a little less fuel. He's right on his gearbox now.
He is.
And Shattered into the pits. First of the leaders is pitted.
Shattered and Orange, it looks like. So Ferrari and Williams, the runners here lap as they start lap 19. Through. What's the difference between them? Has Orange made up any time? No, he hasn't come out the pits quite as fast. Ferrari doing a pretty stellar job there.
I've got Daniel Gilligan and Asmoon in, so one lap later for them, and then I think that will be everybody has done their first pit stop.
What was that? Oh, we're on board with Garrett. He went wide at the hairpin there. Not great, but Nate seemed to have followed him off, so he hasn't gone past him yet. So lucky there for Garrett.
And this is where we'll really see, somebody's diving into the pits again. I wonder if he picked up damage.
Oh, maybe following him off. I wonder if there was contact that we didn't see. Peter in the pits, lap 20. He has gone a long, long way. I wonder if he was conserving fuel. TTR only, he's going to come out ahead. So here he goes down the pit straight. It's just behind the car he's about to lap Leclerc. What's the gap going to be between them? There is Peter exiting the pits. 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Climbs as you have to then brake again. Okay, 5 seconds. I don't think that Williams has done enough. I don't think he's done enough there in his 2-stop.
Yeah, I
was way
believe
too close.
when Titar first pitted, it was maybe a 6 or 7 second gap. So it seems like actually Peter has closed a little bit over that stint.
Yeah, the Ferrari would have been lighter for most of there. The Ferrari's going to be heavy again with fuel now. Going to go to the end, so TTR will be light now. He's in the low 14s, lap 21. If he's two-stopping, should be pitting around lap 24, maybe? Give or take. We did have a safety car, so it depends if he underfueled or went for a standard pit stop, standard two-stop fueling there.
Just looking back at the battle for 6th here, it looks like Daniel Gilligan was actually able to build up a little bit of a gap there through coming in one lap later. Ooh, as we see Garrett O'Brien going wide there through the grass, manages to keep it together. But yeah, I mean, with Nate Delta, I think, crashing, and then Garrett O'Brien potentially having a bit of a slow stop, it seems like Daniel Gilligan has kind of scampered up the road a little bit.
He has. That's great news for Jaguar. These points scoring really helping them.
Orange just kind of running in his own little window, not quite able to match the pace of the front four, but definitely a long ways clear of the midfield. He's got almost a 34-second lead there on 6th place, so good points.
Saying that actually, he's 15.5, pitted only a few laps before Peter. Peter is 16.4. So similar fuel loads in those cars. They should be fueled right towards the end now. So Orange got a small advantage over Peter. Peter down now 7 seconds behind TTR. Was that 14 and a half? The fastest guy in the field right now. Along with Borch and just ever so slightly slower in 3rd place. Now they're going to have the window. If they stop again, it's about 20 seconds for their final stop, Borch and TTR. So who's 20 seconds behind TTR? Well, he's going to fall right between Shattered and Orange if he can't make up any pace. And Brochen there, he'll fall behind Orange as well. So these guys need to find a little bit more pace here with their lighter cars.
ETAR can hold that 1:13.7 pace. I mean, that is very quick now, as Peter is about a second slower at 1:14.7.
Yeah, they'll be about... Yeah, it's hard to tell. We'll know their true pace once they're both out of the pits. Once the two stoppers have finally done their second stop, then we can see the true pace between the cars and the drivers, because they should be equally fueled right to the end. So a few cars having been lapped here now. Oh, that's Leclerc moving out the way there. Letting through, looks like Shadow Compass there.
That car looks unbelievably hooked up through that hairpin. I mean, we've seen so many cars spin with the wind and everything, but just single inputs from Shattered there. Very smooth. That car just looks like it is on rails.
It is glued to the roads. Unbelievable work they've done to set that up. There you go, again with Dan.
Got about a 4 or 5 second gap on Asmoon, so still hanging on to that 6th place.
Yeah. His lap time's just a little bit slower. Asmoon again after 2 spins. Just a few seconds off 6th place, so you can tell the pace he's got there. Half a second quicker than Dan on that last lap. But it's about consistency, it's not about speed.
And that could be so frustrating when you know you have the pace and then you're just making these mistakes and it, just hurting your chances in the race, really. So
that is exactly it. You don't want to be overdriving. Here we go again. Peter, again, one smooth movement, not over braking, not under braking. One very nice fluid motion through that hairpin, which has been catching everyone out, as we've been mentioning. And here he is, 8 seconds behind now. So, I mean, the gap really needs to come down, be a little bit bigger. Just scraping the wall there as he exits the final chicane.
Oh man, and he's quicker than ETAR.
Wow! That's it, Borchen in the pits. Lap 24, that is bang on a 2-stop schedule. Exits the pits, yeah, he's behind Orange as predicted. How far will he be behind? There we have the Williams going through the first corner there, so what do we say, 5, 6, oh, even more than that, 10 seconds plus. Okay, so he's got some work to do. They'll be on similar fuel loads now. Here we are with the leader. See, you can see the car just not hooked up as much. That Ferrari really showing an advantage in that hairpin there. And again, Peter was quicker. His sector times are absolutely lighting up the timing sheets. I can actually see Peter has gone off track this lap and cut a corner somewhere. His sector times are flashing red. And we're starting lap 26. So TTR going a little bit longer here on the second stop compared to Borchin, also 2 stopping.
He just tried to have that advantage of a lighter car, slightly fresher tires. I mean, he has to realize at this point that it's going to be a bit of a Hail Mary to try to catch Peter on that 2-stop strategy, but
yeah, hasn't quite worked out for the Williams boys, but they did split their strategies, so unlike Ferrari, who went all in on the 1-stop, Williams trying something different here.
And it does look like, I mean, given the gaps, he should come out a little bit behind Shatter, definitely should be in front of his teammate Orange. So potentially a chance to get on the podium if he can hit and then put in some good lap times.
Exactly right.
Brachin 8 seconds behind Orange. His lap times are slower, at least for the last lap, about a 7/10 slower. Definitely still a chance there, though, to catch up to 4th. He definitely was showing a bit quicker pace when the cars were on equivalent fuel loads.
That is it. Nate again going wide. So few drivers looking down the field there. Asmoon and Nate really out of position with their pace. Again, they've
TTR into the pits.
Here we go. Smoking those rear tires as he exits. Pit garage crew will not be appreciative of all the burning rubber.
You can see Shattered getting past.
Getting past. Oh,
where is that Williams?
It's close. He's just half a corner behind him. About a second or 2 in it.
And these cars should be on fairly similar fuel here to the end, so...
Just looking at their pace now. Oh. Nate Delta taking a hefty cut of the curb there and quite a bit of grass. 3rd place. So this is where he qualified, TTR, and is still there after the 2 stops. So he had pace in the car. Remember, he's put an extra 22 seconds in the pit lane here.
Maybe a bit frustrated with the strategy team, but oh my, runs very deep there. Probably adjusting to the heavier fuel load.
And you see just in the background there his teammate, so not much difference there at all between the 1 and the 2 stop. Just less than 10 seconds now between the 2 Williams drivers in 3rd and 4th.
Looks like Brachin just matching slightly quicker than Orange on that last lap, so if he wants to get up into 4th, he's going to have to build a pace advantage a little bit more than that. And again, Orange just a tiny bit quicker than Brachin, so they're matching pace there in 4th and 5th.
And you have to remember, Borchin there as well, 2 stopping. They're on the same fuel now, so Orange has legitimately in the pit stops by 1 stopping here actually got ahead of the 2 stopping Borchin there, who was qualified 4th. So it looks like the 1 stop was the preferred strategy today.
Just looking back down the field again, Asmoon again putting in some quicker lap times than those in front of him. I wonder if he can recover from his 2 spins to get into the points here.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Nate, much tidier this time around the hairpin.
Just 7 laps to go. We've got a battle for 2nd between Shattered and TTAR. Just a few seconds separate them. Brachin trying to run down Orange. Daniel Gilligan holding on to 6th in the last points gain position. Asmoon, who we're on board here with, only a few seconds behind.
And then Leclerc and Nate Delta to get into the single digits there fight for 9th. Just within a second here as we're on board with Moon, looking forward at Dan Gilligan now, just 2 seconds ahead. And there is Nate really close to the back of Leclerc. Nate had some fantastic pace. Look at this last lap, a second faster.
I think both he and Asman will be a little bit looking at what could have been, working on that consistency. Definitely has shown itself, especially in the midfield, to be really key.
There we go.
TTAR closing in on Shattered.
He's close. He's in that slipstream/dirty air. 1 or 2 seconds behind. It's a pretty tough place to be. Lap times almost identical though. Ferrari have given it everything this season.
Yeah, we could be, with 6 laps here, we could be looking at the second Ferrari 1-2. They are really going to put themselves ahead in both the Drivers and the Constructors' Championships if they can pull that off. Interestingly now, actually, it looks like it follows what could be the championship standings coming, Constructors' Championships coming out of this with Ferrari 1-2, Williams 3-4, and then Jaguar 5-6.
That is it. And it's tough. It's tough this season. Only the top 6 scoring points. All the hard battles from 7th behind, all frustratingly for no points, but for championship position. And that was Garrett there moving out the way for both the Williams and the Ferrari have Shattered as they come through to lap. So they're lapping now up to 8th place, 2nd and 3rd. Asmun would be next. He's not that far. If he's going to be lapped, he's going to be lapped by Peter soon with a 2-second a lap difference between them. 1.5 seconds. So it might be that Asmun is lapped just before the end of this race.
All things considered, I mean, to spin twice and only to get lapped right before the end, I mean, it shows the potential that was there.
Oh, yeah. About as close to the wall as you'd ever want to be without getting damage. Sparks flying there.
Oh, takes a dive.
That's it. Oh, round the outside. I couldn't do it. It was a great move there.
Battle. And I mean, this is for 9th and 10th, and they are just giving no quarter. Leclerc into the wall there. That must be Broch in there then, and coming up to lap them, it looks like.
That is him lapping them there. Oh, getting a little bit of wheel spin out the corner there. His pace pretty good, over a second faster than Orange in front. He's down to 4 seconds now. 5 seconds, he may be being slightly held up by these guys in front, but he is on the absolute ball. The fastest man on the field right now with a 13.0 is Peter. Unbelievable pace.
Oh, and Nate makes the move on Leclerc. It's so difficult. You have the blue flags, you're fighting, and for Brochin, he's frustrated because these guys are fighting, but they're fighting for position. They're fighting for championship position here.
And he's in the slipstream of these 2 guys fighting, and it's unbelievable. Leclerc has to give up a spot. Brochin cuts through the middle. What a move. Wasn't for position, and now Leclerc's back ahead of Nate.
Just unfortunate timing with the blue flags there, but I mean, Nate is right back on the tail.
Frustrating for Nate. Leclerc, though, giving it all in defense. This is what racing is about. Holding your line, stout defense, good timing of when to move over for the lapped cars, knowing when to follow them through, and then getting that place back. Great driving there.
Back to our old friend, the safety car here.
Not been seen, thankfully, for the rest of this race since the very beginning. Back on board with Nate here. Down to the last 3 or 4 laps. 3 laps. Oh, in fact, down to Peter. Peter's into his last 2 laps. He's on lap 33. 17 seconds he's got on Shattered. Unbelievable. So that's about half a second faster than Shattered on average over the entire race. That is some fantastic pace there.
Unbelievable. It seems like, I mean, looking at the lap times, it seems like Shattered can match him, on a given lap, but it's just the consistency. Peter able to just pound out lap after lap after lap that really has opened up that gap.
That is. Shadow's also got one eye in his mirrors, don't forget. He's got TTR just within a second behind him or so there will be a small part of your brain, the energy will be taken up by thinking, have I done everything right to keep this guy behind me? And just in those small thought processes, somehow time disappears from you. A tenth of a second here, a thousandth here, a couple of thousandths. So it's great he's still matching him with that pressure behind him for second place. Nate and Leclerc,
yeah, I mean, it's just battles up and down the field. These two have been going at it, I want to say, for the entire second half of the race, and now they've got the lap traffic cleared through, so now they're able to go back to fighting each other and not worry about those blue flags.
And that's it. Peter started his last lap. Shattered and TTR are about to go through and start their last lap. It's not much between them. It doesn't look like he has the pace though. Just 0.3 faster on that last lap, TTR. It's not going to be enough, I don't think. Fortune still 4 seconds behind Orange. Asmoon, what is that, about 2 seconds behind Dan? Nate and Leclerc, the closest people on the track.
Yeah, you just love to see, even when, they're outside of, defends inside. Nate maybe trying to do a little bit of a switcheroo here.
That's the car
them just fighty to get that power down. Shattered maybe a little brush with the wall there, feeling the pressure.
Here we go, Peter coming up to the last corner of the race. Oh, almost gets taken out by a backmarker there as he finishes in first place. What is that, 16 seconds so far ahead of second place man. Great win from Peter there. Phenomenal driving. And here we go, Shattered. Looks like the Ferraris are going to get that one too. What a season it is for these boys. Williams had
unbelievable, a little bit of a swerve there. Celebrating with the team.
That is great stuff. So Williams there, third place. Orange looks like he's going to come through here. Just ahead here, we're on board with Broadchen. It's going to be a Williams 3-4. And it looks like it's going to be a Jaguar 5 and 6.
Is that Nate getting past Leclerc in the last corner?
The last corner of the last lap. Unbelievable driving. And what is the time between them? Nothing. That was amazing. Look at those Toyotas parked up there at the very front. Right. Fantastic drive from Peter there today.
Excellent. Looks like the positions are still changing a little bit on our timing screens here, so potentially some time penalties being applied there at the end. We'll have to wait and see what the official final results are. That 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, those positions swapped around quite a bit after the drivers crossed the line.
And here we are with the final standings. Peter Shattered Compass for Ferrari 1-2, Williams 3-4 with TTR and Orange, and Jaguar there with 5th and 6th. Asmoon getting 7th, Garrett getting 8th, Leclerc getting 9th, and Nate with a 21-second penalty dropped all the way down to 10th after all that hard work. Here we are with the championship standings. TTR just still holding on to second place, but Peter starting to pull out a big lead. Broadchen and Daniel Gilligan there matching the Jaguar in 5 points each. Nate and Asmoon as well matching. And here we go, Ferrari extending their championship lead. Jaguar trying to hold on to Williams. Toyota and Sauber, really close fight. It was all about the points today, and Jordan there with 3 points. Thank you very much. Join us next week for the Nürburgring.